Caffeine is a game changer. My anxiety is through the roof, and it doesn't stop there because my impulsivity is just so great right now. Plus, I get distracted all the time. Anyways, in this video, I'll let you in on the 3 big benefits of caffeine, plus where caffeine truly comes from, and then more seriously, I'll share 3 even bigger benefits of being caffeine-free and what my personal experience with it has been. Okay, so the first big benefit of caffeine is anxiety. I mean, who doesn't want to be caught off guard anyway? With caffeine-induced anxiety, you're always on your toes. You're often anticipating threats that aren't even real. It's great. You'll be worrying so much that even if you do miss a deadline, your adrenals will be pumping so much it'll be easy to catch up. Now, before I get into the second big benefit of caffeine, I have a small favor to ask from you. I just looked and realized that almost 77% of people that watch my channel have not subscribed. I believe we can get that number down to 70% in the next month or so. My goal is 50%, so if you've ever liked any video I've posted, and if you like this channel, can you do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, as you've seen, the more videos I can do. Thank you. Alright, the second big benefit of caffeine is impulsivity. So what if you uncontrollably change direction? New ideas don't come from being too focused. Some might call it shiny object syndrome, but what do they know? And why follow a single trail when you can blaze 10 at once? So the next time someone accuses you of being impulsive and losing focus, just wink at them and say, I'm not impulsive, I'm multi-directional. Remember, fortune favors the boldly caffeinated. The third big benefit of caffeine is distractibility. Everyone loves a mysterious figure, and nothing says mysterious like gazing into the distance in the middle of a conversation. I mean, is it the caffeine making you lost in your thoughts, or are you just too edgy and cool for those around you? The more distracted you appear, the more intriguing you become. It's the perfect illusion of depth. Now let's talk about it. The caffeine conspiracy. How come no one has put together the obvious? Caffeine is an alien entity that has plans for world domination. I mean, think about the mind control it has. Those who drink it defend it with their honor, and they cast suspicion on those who don't. And those scientific studies touting its benefits, many are bankrolled and supervised by giants like PepsiCo. Coincidence? Think again. Their headquarters, it's obviously Starbucks. I mean, that logo, how alien does that look? And I'm just saying, before your next coffee, ask yourself, are you drinking it, or is it drinking you? In the book Caffeine Blues, Stephen Chernisky stated it clearly when he said, "Let me state this clearly. A substance that purports to give you energy by stimulating your nervous system isn't giving you anything. It's harming you." And the hilarious part about that is that you'll never say that about caffeine until you stop consuming it. If you ever do, here are 3 bigger benefits of caffeine that I've experienced and that you likely can too. Number 1, control. Suddenly, my mind is mine again. The weight of every effort feels lighter. That means I no longer have anxiety around not having enough energy in the afternoons or the evenings. At any time I want to do work or exercise or create, I have natural energy to work with. And even if the energy's low because it does dip throughout the day, I know I probably just need a little bit of water or food or something more natural, and I'll just have natural energy return. So I'm going on roughly 21 days without caffeine. I'm curious to see how it'll extend, but I'm pretty sure I've kind of returned to my baseline. And this return to being in control goes way further. My work is no longer all-encompassing. Like on the TV shows I've been on, as we rush to put out the latest fire or complete the latest task, we'd laugh at ourselves afterwards and we'd say, it's not heart surgery. But on caffeine, it always feels like it is. Having that raised chronic ongoing level of stress meant that I rarely felt I had the mental space to think more broadly and loosely. Now off of caffeine, it's like this great fog has lifted, like the dark whisperings of worm tongue have been banished from my thoughts, and they've been replaced with the full strength of my true self. Like Theoden in Lord of the Rings, I'm once more the king of my castle. The next bigger benefit of no caffeine is calm. I feel it. I also can track it too. My blood pressure is lower. my resting heart rate is 5 beats per minute lower, from 54 to 49 BPM. Even better perhaps is my heart rate variability, that's HRV. HRV is correlated with having a youthful physiology, better sleep quality, and less mental stress. Now, over the past year and a half, my HRV levels are higher than they've ever been, not just by a little bit, but by 15 to 20 milliseconds. And that's a fairly substantial jump. So in actual, tangible, trackable data, heart rate and heart rate variability, I've seen a notable, stark difference. Now there is one caveat here. During the first 5 days of being off caffeine, my sleep disruptions were a lot higher. I'd wake up, I'd be calm, but I had difficulty getting back to sleep for a few hours. Now this was because my body was thrown out of its old equilibrium and it had to find its way back. So that process took about 5 days. And just keep that in mind if you're thinking about breaking up with caffeine, that all these benefits just don't immediately happen. But if you're looking for immediate ways to reduce your information anxiety, you'll definitely want to grab my free email course, Ultimate Primer to Linking Your Thinking. The link is in the description below. Now it's also worth mentioning that my conversations with others, they're more effortless. I can pay better attention and I get way less distracted. So that's the second bigger benefit of Calm. And the last bigger benefit of being caffeine free is capability. Now, caffeine is associated with higher levels of productivity. Here's what's odd though. Without caffeine, I'm getting more of the harder things done more often. Like what? How can that be? It's because with the higher levels of stress that caffeine induces, those hard efforts would more easily send my mind over this emotional tipping point where it felt too stressful to even engage with the work. So I would seek out distractions, usually YouTube or Twitter. But now, for those hard efforts that need more energy and focus, I'm way better off without caffeine. I naturally have the energy to do it. And if I have to get up for a specific task, I'm now not going over that emotional tipping point. I'm just turning on to the right level. It's even in the simple things where I'm feeling more capable, like picking up the phone and making a call to my friends and family. Before, I would have to muster up just the right conditions. Caffeinated, undistracted from work, which is really rare when you're caffeinated, and not anxious about everything else in my life, even more rare when you're caffeinated. But what about caffeine as a workout aid? Some of you might be thinking, well, I like to work out, I like to have a little caffeine beforehand. And it's true, for your highest performing workouts, caffeine helps. The research, no matter who's putting it on, will show you that. But for me, I'm done with these highly competitive college sports long ago. So going from that 100% to 110%, it's just not worth the crash afterwards. But I'll be honest, I still felt it was worth it because being on caffeine kind of convinced me that I might not even have the ride this roller coaster of highs and lows of caffeine. Now I'm piloting my own ship. And that's not to say I won't ever return. I'm curious, but a little skeptical of some research out there suggesting that you can have caffeine on non-consecutive days and it won't build up a dependency. I'm very skeptical of that, but I'm just being realistic and open. I've really enjoyed being off of it. I'm going to continue to be off of it. I'm just not committing to a lifetime of being off of it. I don't want to commit to anything, okay? Where I'm really curious though is how much caffeine do you drink on average? Or are you already caffeine free? Or are you neck deep in caffeine, but are you considering maybe weaning off of it? Could you please share your experience in the comments below? I'd really appreciate that. I'll just say this, I'm mostly free from caffeine's clutches, and I've unearthed a version of myself that I kind of like. And it's a reminder that true energy isn't going to come from a cup as much as it's going to come from within. And after you make a comment below, again, if you're looking for immediate ways to reduce your information anxiety, you'll definitely want to check out this video on the Ideaverse, how you can create a system to calm your mind while learning faster and remembering more. I'll see you there.